Banter fam, the world is capitulating. Dow Jones, well, the future is dropping 1,500 points at open. Insane. We look here how all of the banks, you can see how they're halting. French side halting right now. Too much dump, too much dump. Panic selling. Taiwan stock market trading halted. Circuit breaker. Circuit breaker is what they call it, where they're now just shutting off the damage. I wish they did that in crypto. When things are about to crash, they just shut down everything so that we don't crash it anymore, right? China stock has been the biggest one drop since 2008. And you can see the stock market's futures officially reopened, S&P down 2.1%. And I was looking over here. This looks very similar to the COVID crash, right? Where all of a sudden we just get this massive knife drop that comes out of nowhere, right? And we can see here a huge drop over here on the futures itself, and it's reminding me very similar to what happened over here, where out of nowhere we just saw this massive financial war. I think that's officially what we can call it right now. And then we got poor old crypto, right? Crypto is just that cousin that's around at the party. And we can see that Bitcoin has taken a drop off. Bitcoin's actually holding incredibly well, to be honest, considering what's happened to the rest of the markets as well. It is holding really decent. But when it comes to the damn altcoins, they are obviously suffering a bit today as well. And what we can clearly see right now is capitulation, right? Worldwide capitulation. And I always thought the next war would be a financial war. Right? No more physical wars anymore. Financial war at this point. So we can see how now tariffs are being launched everywhere. And there's a lot going on. So guys, I'm here today. Let's go through the charts. This is capitulation. We got to get through capitulation. We get through this. We then see that beautiful growth again. When you get these huge capitulations, this is where the massive opportunities come into play. Now, again, crypto has been bleeding slowly, and now we have this massive shakeout. So I want to go through the next big areas on Bitcoin. We can still see maybe 72, maybe even 69. If the markets open down or they open terribly today, then we will see some more downside, but we do need to prepare for the wick. We do need to prepare for the reversal candle, and we do need to prepare for the bounce. I think that's a very important thing for us to look through over today. Okay, guys, lots of love to you all. Hope you're all doing well. I know it's been crazy. I decided to be live today to make sure that we get through this hard patch. Let's go.
I try and help everyone in my space, and this is what I get. I try and fight the devils, but inside I'm just like sniper. Welcome to Sheldon Show.
All right, Banter fam, how are we doing? I see we're 69% bearish. We're all bearish when things are down 50%. We have the right to be bearish. Obviously, there's a lot of news, a lot of things going down at the moment, but this is where we got to look for reversal. This is where we got to look at, okay, when is the suffering going to end? When I saw ETH hit 1,400 this morning, I was like, what? When I saw Solana hit $97, I was like, what? Like, are you serious? Insane. So we're going to go through the major levels. But first thing is checking in on the heads. I know the portfolios are down. Okay, I actually told you guys last week I charted my journey and my money, and my money told me to, hey, chill, right? Don't make any rash decisions because it's going to drop quite a bit. So I actually ended up sitting in a bit of cash on a couple of trading portfolios. Those portfolios are down, but I actually have some opportunities today. The question is now, do you deploy straight away, or what are we looking for, right? That's the next big thing. And then the next thing from here, guys, it's road to recovery. This is survival stage now, and the whole world is resetting. And to be honest, we needed the reset. I thought it was going to come a little bit later. Maybe this is a smaller one to a bigger one that comes in the next year or two. Okay, or maybe this is the massive one where we actually see the stock markets crumble a little bit and we see a lot happen. And from that, you restart the growth again. From that, we restart everything and we get it going again. They're probably going to put on the printers at some point, probably going to start the rate cuts at some point. All of these things will happen once we start getting through this major area over here. Now the whole world knows that there is a crisis. Before, everyone was like, okay, it's just crypto. Stock markets are still holding good. Now everyone knows, hey, the stuff is cracked at the moment. There's a bunch of crap everywhere, right? And something needs to change. And I think this is the point now where we got to start getting ready for a pivot. It's no doubt about it that if we go through a couple of charts, and I actually want to start off with this chart over here with you guys, it's just showing you three important charts, right? Showing you S&P. Now, S&P, guys, is very much, you know, for me, I only bring up the stocks when it's super important. But this is a big pullback for S&P, right? I was even looking at the futures here. Big drop. If we go here to the SPX, S&P, this looks very similar to the COVID crash, where it's just something that comes out of nowhere very quickly, and it does a lot of short-term damage. But what that actually does is it wipes out a massive amount of the market, okay? It really neutralizes the market, because a lot of junk and a lot of people that were maybe overexposed and these type of things kind of get flushed within these times. A lot of these liquidations appear, and this is on a massive scale. This is trillions of dollars we're now talking, where the whole world is having this massive shake, right? But what it does is when we have these big shakes here, we got to look at when things are going to get artificial again. What I mean by that is, if we look at this chart, right, this thing has been quite a massive, not a scam, but just been really like crazy, right? It looks like a damn algorithm chart where all the way since 2008 crash, we've just had these rally ups, quick shakeouts, rallies up, quick shakeouts, but we've actually just gone parabolic when it comes to the stock markets over here, right? So again, what happens is when the biggest news events happen or the biggest shakeouts happen, this is where they make pivots. Right? This is where they either put on printers or they look at the quick fix because they got to, right? Everything's crumbling right now. Everything's crashing now. So we got to pay attention to that over here and understand that, hey, we've seen one of these massive dumps before, but if it is similar to the COVID one over here, we want to see a nice fast recovery. We want to see things get fixed up pretty quickly. And I'm pretty sure once we're done with this, we're going to see a lot of news changes and a lot of things start to happen once they get through all this crap. Question is it going to sit here for 3 months? Is it going to really move very quickly? For me, the faster that it goes down, okay, the faster that it goes down, the quicker it's going to recover. If it slow bleeds like this, that's the trouble. But if it just knifes down like this is a very much shakeout of the markets, and then we reboot and we start moving again, right? So I want to bring up this chart over here and show you guys S&P 500 and the volatility index, because the volatility index is quite interesting, right? This has now gotten up to high levels. Let's just find it over here. Okay, this has now increased quite a bit. And we could see that during the last, all the way, the last 30, 40 years, you could see that we've been looking at this and seeing that there's been these random spikes. So I went and I had a look at these spikes, right? And the spikes, that anything that goes above this 50% sort of mark, okay, it's basically saying, hey, volatility is hitting a max here and we're seeing a massive amount. And you could see these pulses, right? They come out of nowhere. So I basically put this and I put it next to the S&P and I put it next to Bitcoin as well. And to show you guys, so in the middle here is the volatility index, okay? And to show you that these big volume or these volatility spikes that income, right, are usually these massive liquidation events, but also usually the turnaround points too, right? But not just a turnaround point for, hey, we recovered today. This could be a turnaround point for the next 6-9 months. It even could be for a couple of years, right? Because the last time we saw, okay, still respect Sheldon. And someone said Sheldon's bearish. I'm not bearish. I'm not bearish. You see my blood here, it's green. It does not go, it doesn't, I got green blood. I don't have red blood, right? I'm just looking at, hey, what do we do now? Where do we catch this thing from the bottom? How do we make it back quick, right? My brain never fights about when things get reset. Everything recently has been out of our control. Literally, everything's just gone crazy. It's gone off of the books. It's gone this, it's gone that. So the quicker you can hit reality and adapt back to that, the better, right? The quicker we can look at this as an opportunity and get back to our damn mission again, the better. Okay, so let's go through a couple of things. Here is the volatility index over here. We've seen a couple of spikes. Okay, we saw one in this time over here, which was 2015. We saw a nice volatility index spike. Okay, that actually ended up marking the S&P a nice little low that actually ended up going from the 1,900 all the way to 2,700. So over time, you could see there's over a couple of years, okay, we actually saw a nice rally within the stocks. Then we had the next event, which was this area in this 2018. And I saw Bitcoin as a part of this one too, right? With Bitcoin in these areas of around this $4,000, $5,000, okay? And the S&P was sitting around this 2.5. And you could see later on over that, we ended up getting to around 3.4. Right, so you can see that these have been good little pivot areas that got the market to start rallying for a couple of months to a couple of years after this point over here. Then we have the one where I think we are very similar to today, right, is the COVID crash. COVID crash was a big one, right? Not only did we see Bitcoin go back to $3,000 or $4,000, which was insane, right? We also saw the stock markets have one of the biggest crashes it's had in a long time, right? We saw a drop of the areas around that 30% mark. In a very short period of time. And then after that, you could see that the printers came out and artificially we just recovered, right? Not only did we recover, we were back pretty quick. We were back in the areas of around 6 months. We're back to the tops. And then we actually ended up smashing the highs. So from the low, we ended up going from 2.5 all the way to the 4,000. Then, and in that time of Bitcoin was at that 4K, and we actually ended up seeing Bitcoin going all the way to 60K. So it shows you very quickly that crypto is the one that recovers the quickest. Yes, it's the most volatile, specifically with altcoins. I didn't even put the total 3 chart on here because that just shows you that these big lows at income are huge opportunities on alts for those who still got some money to put in, right? The rest of us got to kind of fix our portfolios and get ready and just move to quality and let it rise up again. Okay, but if you look at this time over here, Bitcoin went from the 4,000 all the way to 60,000, right? In the time where the stock market just went to these major areas over here too. Then we look at, we actually had an event that happened last year, and I think this was when the banks were dropping. Let me zoom in here for a second, okay? Because we actually saw this, guys, right before Trump came in. We actually went through a altcoin capitulation of what we're kind of seeing right now. We've actually, not too long ago, a couple of months ago, we actually had the altcoin capitulation, right? So if you look at this area over here, you could see we had this drop and we had a massive spike within the volatility index, okay? And this is where we saw S&P also drop, not as much, but it did drop to the areas of around the late 4,000s. And then we had, again, a couple of a rally to the upside. But crypto was interesting, because in that point, Bitcoin is obviously hovering sideways and chopping down slowly, quite similar to what we are doing today or the last couple of weeks, right? And we actually ended up Bitcoin bottoming around the 50,000s and then ended up going to the areas of up to the 100K. So Bitcoin kind of likes these events, right? And so does crypto too, because what you have was crypto was kind of leading the race, right? Crypto is kind of the one that was pre-dumping the markets for the last 3 months, okay? And now the stock markets come, but not only do they come, they just dump in one day. Like they dump in a couple of days and they catch everything up very quickly, where crypto kind of was leaking. And now what you get is that massive shakeout and that capitulation. But to be honest, I don't think this is the worst altcoin capitulation than what we saw, I think it was around 8 weeks ago, where we saw that 40% drop in one day, right? I think the damage was done then. So for me, now we're looking at stock market starting to catch up. Right, so now where we're sitting yet again, we're sitting with the volatility index high, sitting into the 50s. I even think it went close to the 60%. Okay, you've got Bitcoin sitting above its all-time highs, which is very impressive at this point. You've got a lot of the RSIs, a lot of the markets reset. Now the question is the stock markets, right? How are the stock markets looking over here? So let's go through stock markets for a second, okay? Because again, guys, all we have to do is get through this patch, okay? And then the road to recovery starts again. Okay, things kind of have to hit rock bottom, right? Rock bottom. That's the question now, is how far down? So as you can see here, you can see that this crash over here is up to the 30%. Okay, here we're looking in the areas of around close to 20%. Okay, over here. What I do have, because what I noticed was that the last time we dropped, when the futures went up a lot, right? Last time we dropped, we actually dropped to the previous highs that we were before the rally actually begun. Right? So if you look at the same comparison over here now, you have these highs over here. So we do have a lot of support, basically saying that, hey, maybe some good news is going to come out in the next couple of days. Okay. And if this is the bottom, then great. Okay. Then from here, we can then start that rally, that road to recovery, where we go from here, we start slowly climbing back up because the market's not going to trust anything for a little while. And then that's when it can really start getting going again. Right? In this time, your crypto bags, you'll be shocked how fast crypto actually recovers compared to the S&P once everything is reset. We saw it again. We saw it when Trump walked through the doors, right? We saw the stock markets only opened, and let's look over here. Stock markets only went up from this, let's say 41,000 on the futures, only went up around 10 to 20% when Trump walked through the door. Crypto went 100% up, right? So again, crypto is the one that catches up very fast when it happens. But let's speak about the next scenario. The next scenario is we actually go worse, right? So I'm going to bring up the S&P here. If we don't bounce here shortly, things get escalated, right? Then we are looking at the same size, very similar to what we saw in the COVID crash. Then you're still looking at another area. If I show you here, we're down here now in these areas of around another 20% down within stocks. This is where it's going to get quite interesting when it comes to crypto as well, right? So just before I get to crypto, now someone says, save me. Guys, where's my head at? My head at to trade this damn shit from the bottom and go again, right? That's my goal. My goal here, again, is eat these back at 1.5, sell these back at 5, scrape whatever you can under the damn couches, and let's go again, right? This reminds me of when I started my journey, because I got scammed, and then I joined the COVID crash a week before the COVID crash, okay? But I got to rally the biggest ride of my life from it. So it's the most devastating event that comes, and it's the most shocking thing. But when you zoom out and you see that this thing gave you 2, 3, 4 years of pump, right? It actually gives us a very big opportunity again to go. So for me, it's again, I ask myself the question, Sheldon, how good are you? How much have you improved in your trading strategies? How have you done anything yet at these points to get ready? Okay, your bags are down, sure, but now it's about who catches up again. Because again, what has happened in the last couple of days? the whole world has been neutralized. Everyone is on the same playing field now. You even have all the biggest stock exchanges stuff shutting down. That are basically saying, hey, no more damage, no more damage. Halt, halt, halt. So even your damn whales are getting wrecked at this point. Every damn big wallet is getting, I'm sure Michael Saylor's sitting there like, right? Everyone is on the even playing field now. Now it's about when we rise again, who rises the quickest, who gets to the top the fastest. This is the question now, and this is where you have to pick your damn heads up and go. Everything when it comes to losses or anything like that is temporary. This can be, and if you look at all the information that I'm seeing, this can be one of the biggest opportunities you have to make that damn life-changing thing that you wanted. Okay, it doesn't matter where you begin. I had 4,000, I went to 40,000, and I went back to $300 to $400. That was the start of my my 6 month in crypto. That was my start. 4,000, 40,000, 400, right? Then I had to go again. So I did lose 95% of my money. I even lost close to 98% of my money. Okay. And I managed to turn it around and to push through. So the amounts don't matter. It's about staying in here and looking at the biggest opportunity. And also, you have to now increase some of your trading skills. It's time to trade, right? Your long-term bags are going to take some time to recover. What the hell are you going to do when they make their way to recovery? I'm going to trade the damn markets. So I'm going to be doing more school cohorts than what I've ever done before. Okay, I'm going to be doing more things ever. And if you want to join me on the party of restarting your damn journey, today it's going to hurt. Tomorrow you're going to be like, okay, let's go. Let's get up my butts and let's move again, right? I'll be pushing schools. I'll be teaching as much as I can. Join club, be a part of club. Let's go. Let's build it again. I don't care, right? The green in my blood, green in my blood. Okay, let's go. So now let's go through a cup. So again, 2 scenarios. Things may get fixed pretty shortly. On the one supporter. If not, we are looking at another 20%. What does that now mean for good old Bitcoin? Let's go through on Bitcoin over here, and then we can go through a couple of altcoins as well and go through everything. Okay, so here is Bitcoin. Bitcoin actually holding very decent, not going to lie, right? It's really looking good. Investing, best opportunities right now of your damn life, right? Go buy the good shit really cheap, and I'll go through it again. Right? It's like, if you have anything to put into your long-term bags now, I don't think you could be asking for anything more. You should be bouncing on the couches that you are excited, right? Like, this should be a happy day for you if you have some money, right? Like, very, very, very important to know that. This is opportunities. Okay, so again, we look at Bitcoin. First thing again is we're still holding the bull line. Important, because that is indicating we go down to 30s. So this is very important now to see us hold major supports. Now, when the whole world is under this crunch, okay, Bitcoin is now coming down to its previous all-time highs. And if Bitcoin keeps doing what it's doing, and what I mean by that is where it keeps just passing these levels. You know, we had this big bear stage down here previously, but we basically had, from the beginning, it started off, so it had this drop when we went into the bear, and then it turned that into support, right? Then it rallied up, and then it turned it into support again. Okay, so you see what I'm seeing over here. Then we rallied up, okay, and we turned it into support again. Okay, now we've rallied up again. And now if we turn this into support, Bitcoin is like doing really well. Okay. And we're still coiled up for a very big year. Okay. For Bitcoin, because what it's doing is if it keeps continuously turning these highs into support, Bitcoin's in a very, very, very strong uptrend. So that's why I put the important trend line at the bottom. It's just basically saying that, hey, it's volatile. It is doing this whole chop and change, and it's moving up and up, up and down, but it's actually doing pretty good. And the world is actually in a bit of a tough place right now. It's a bit of a financial war. I don't know if you guys agree with me. It's definitely a financial war that's happening right now. You know, my car is faster than yours. You know, it's a bunch of ego running around the whole world at this point. Okay. And the people are suffering for it. Okay. But not really, because this gives us an opportunity to be on the same level field. Right. Before, when everything was rallying up like this, there was a small percentage that were rich as hell. Okay. Now everyone's kind of getting broke. Now we're all sitting here now and saying, hey, we all kind of, because remember, someone that's worth $100 million just lost $50 million, right? Versus someone that had $100 and lost $50. Same thing, right? Same thing, just different percentages. Like, you just lose more, you know, the more amounts that you have. So even playing field, people are capitulating everywhere, right? Yes, another wealth transfer. Guys, things have to crash to start again. So let's go through here. Big support zones on Bitcoin. I am paying attention to the pin bar candle. The pin bar candle this week, the pin bar candle next week. I think it can be this week, but if it's next week, sure, no problem. We're looking for the pin bar candle. We're looking for Bitcoin to have this capitulation event here. okay, where something comes out. So again, they got a chance today to crash the stock markets even further, okay, and actually hard. Like today's the day to send the stock market down another 20% if it needs to go, right? Then what you're going to have is this buying pressure. You're just going to have this fast buy up that's going to come out of nowhere. And that's what I'm paying attention to. I know that the market is in more fear than what it's been in for a long time. I know that the RSIs are reset. I know we're on supports. I know we're on areas where the market, 90% of crypto people are flushed out now. No one's here anymore, right? I know that all of that is under pressure a lot at this point. Now I'm looking for the reversal candle. So again, your big support zones are here at 69,500 and 73. Anywhere these areas is a nice, strong support reversal zone. What we want to see is a real buy up, right? We want to see something this week where Bitcoin is back in the mid 80s to 90,000. That's what we want to see this week, okay, for a real buy up. So the way I see it is right now, it'll be interesting if the low is in on Bitcoin, because it's saying here that we hit 74,700 as this temporary low. For me, support's a little bit lower. So something is telling me that maybe that when stock markets open today, it's actually going to open up red again, right? It's actually going to go again for another push down. And what that will do is bring Bitcoin into this very hot zone, okay, which is the 69 to the 73,000. This is where I see buying power. This is not only where I see a bounce, I see a big bounce that turns this candle green, okay? And it could actually be a massive reversal at any point, all depending. Okay, if anyone comes and saves the day, if Trump comes and puts something good out, if they've resolved something, we will see. Okay, but again, because the reason will always come after, but the chart is saying that volume is going to start increasing and there's going to be a spike this week. There's going to be a strong spike within volume. Okay, and it's telling us that's what we need, a pin bar reversal candle. Then after that, it's got two scenarios. Either we reverse this candle this week now, then we sit flat for 2-3 weeks because no one trusts anything, and then we start recovering, or it literally just blows the water out the park where it has a strong reversal and we start the road to recovery. Okay, so again, I'm not thinking much lower than these areas over here. Let's speak about it though. There is liquidity sitting at $60,000 to $63,000. Okay, so if they really want to capitulate stock markets, again, really send that down hard, there might be a very nasty wick on Bitcoin. Okay, I do think dominance might go down if that happens because it'll be a Bitcoin catch-up. Right now, dominance is flying high because it's protection zone. Let's protect our king. Because as long as we have our king, we still have a bull market, right? If Bitcoin is sitting at 30,000s today, then we have a problem because if Bitcoin is down, there's no bull market. But as long as Bitcoin, Big Daddy, is still there and still holding a lot of the liquidity within crypto, okay, we still have a bull market. So this dominance now, you can see it's creeping up all the way to the top of these areas over here. Okay, and the moment we start to get a bit of safety or a real bounce, we should start distributing back out. There's still anything in my brain, I will say it forever. There will still be this day again. It will come at some point. Okay, right now, let's get through the tragedy of the world and all the craziness. The next thing here is also the USDT dominance. I got the top main trend from the top. These were the bottoms that we had of Bitcoin at 22,000s. Okay, these are the areas at 30,000 and these were the areas at 50,000. Okay, we are now getting to USDT dominance back into these zones. It's telling us there's a hot reversal zone over here, but there's also telling us there can still be a little bit more damage to go. A little bit more damage to go over here and then strong push down. This is a big resistance here. And again, it's actually in a channel and it's indicating to us that this thing can do this, which means that there's a big pump on the horizon. Not only do I think it'll happen in one day, no. Do I think it can be a 3 to 6 month rally? Yes, definitely. Definitely. And maybe this year it's different. Maybe May we actually pump, right? They'll be quite crazy. Okay, altcoins are getting hit hard. Okay, they're getting hit hard. But let's look at the facts, right? Let's look at this volume. Fake. Terrible, right? Look how price is coming down. No volume backing it. Look when price goes up, volume backing it, right? So now yet again, what you have is you had a bit of big volume here. This is what shaked a lot of retail out, right? That move over there. Right now, also like they back it. Any fake holders of altcoins are now gone. The only people that are holding altcoins now are the ones that believe in the altcoins, right? Back to the original roots. The real audiences are left. The OGs of crypto are left in crypto. The retail is gone, right? Those who want to be millionaires overnight, gone. OGs are here. Who makes all the money in crypto? OGs. They make all the money in crypto, right? They are still here. So again, you look at alts here, you can see the volume dropping more than ever. First thing I look at is the trend. We're still in there good. And now you can see that we have supports where we just bounce. We have a little bit lower, okay? And we even have these areas over here. So yes, your altcoins can still bleed another 15, 20 to a massive support, but we are actually still in a major bull trend. We're still in there, right? Never count the alts out. This is also where they got wrecked. When I looked at this COVID crash here, guys, altcoins went, Chainlink went from $2 to something couple of cents, right? I saw ETH go down to crazy levels when that happened, right? So again, your altcoins are just, they're volatile as hell, okay? But just accept them. They're wild, okay? Which means that when they go party, they're the life of the party. And when it's the next morning, they are the most, they got such bad hangover, you don't want to be around them, right? But that's what altcoins are. We love them for that. We love them that they crap on the bad days and they're phenomenal on the green days, right? That is the, yes. Who's an OG? I want to see who's OGs. I'm an OG. I'm here. I'm strong. I believe, right? So here's altcoins again. Again, same thing. We are very much oversold on the weekly. We actually have extreme lows here. We are below 5%, guys. And I want to show you here. 5% is a very strong signal. You don't get them that often, right? If you look at the previous times where both of your lines are below 5%, this was 10%, this one was just above the 5. But if you look at the areas of when we're at minus 5%, you could see exactly the areas, right? Like, so if you zoom in here, you'll see the percentages. Anything below 5 is like really oversold. And you go market out, you'll see it's basically every bottom on the altcoin chart on the weekly. Right. So again, market is oversold. People are definitely out now, and it's your OGs that are left. When your OGs are left, it means that emotionally the alts are ready to reset and get going again. Right. Again, what we want to see, strong pin bar candle. I would love to see altcoins back above here. Right. And then the trend is the one that's really going to get us going. So what it's saying is there's still this 3-week period over here. Okay, get through this little period over here, and then things will start resetting and start pushing up. And again, don't be surprised. I just want to show you again because we have been here. Let's go back over here. Okay. Don't be surprised. We have been here before. How fast the bulls step up. Specifically, if the world goes into a very bad place now, they're going to have to artificially do something. They're going to have to do something fake to get the markets to bounce again, right? Because if they don't, it's going to create havoc. It's going to create a lot of havoc in the world, right? But we've seen this big patch and we've seen capitulation. But again, I just want to remind you how fast it can change, right? Because we were there previously. Look at that. How would that make you feel? So again, maybe there's 2-3 weeks of this where it drops sideways like this. But if that pops at any point like that, it's okay. We'll breathe again, right? Yes, 3, 2, 1, pin bar candle. Okay, now let's go through your alts. I can't believe ETH had lost a big support trend. ETH has a big resistance. So what it's giving me here now is it lost this 2000s. Not great. Okay, now we've got 2 big supports, and I would say very good investment zones on ETH, right? You got this 1,300 to 1,500. Great investment zone. But there is a capitulation scenario, which means if I was going to spend money today, I'd put 50% in now, and the other 50, try catch ETH between 900 and 1,200. That's insane, right? Then what it's telling me is there's a big resistance here. So it's basically giving me an indication, okay, and it gives me a bit of an insight to how big the bounce could actually be, right? The federal prince, I also got a feeling the prince, they're going to come. Where is it here? Wait, here. The princes will come. They've got to save the day at some point, right? But again, what this is showing me here is this big resistance. So it's telling me that if we bounce here, the bounce is going to be big, right? Big to these areas here. Then we'll see how we get. If we go even lower here, it's telling me how big the bounce is. So it's telling me the bounce is like a 20-25% bounce. Then we had resistance. We'll have a look, right? And see from there. We've got a big trend here that we need to break on ETH as well, all the way from the top. But ETH, investment zone. Solana, lost 618. That's big resistance now. It's telling me that when it bounces now, it's going to go to 120, 130 at any point. But this is the area where the bears are going to hold it. Once we get through here, there's a huge short squeeze back to 200. Okay, so it's telling me it's definitely accumulating zones. I do have $70 to $80 as a capitulation. Okay, here since 2016. Damage, please give some love in the chat today. What kept you through? Why is it important people not to quit today? Please, your knowledge is important. Chainlink, back to the OGs. Same coin, same Ferrari, right? Same car. It's crazy how we look at the car, the exact same car, right? Just 60% cheaper. Imagine your favorite Ferrari. You go to the shop tomorrow, 60% cheaper, right? Or your favorite whatever. It's like it's insane, right? It's all a damn money game. This we get very emotionally attached. Yeah, bear market territory. We are back on the top here. There is no fake community left. They're in, right? There is an investment opportunity. Sui, guys. Sui had one of the biggest runs, had an incredible run, right? That's back. That's back at these areas here. I remember I bought a lot at $3. Okay, I'm looking today to scrape up more. This thing's at 1.8. Incredible, right? Even XRP army is under a little bit of pressure. Wow, a little bit of a pullback on XRP finally, right? XRP has been strong. So XRP has a lot of strong support over here. Okay, and it does have the areas of 1.3 to the 1.5. Okay, so this gives me an idea. So remember, I'm still saying that there can be more, but I'm not bearish. Not a chance am I bearish now, right? There's no way. Okay, I'm just looking at, hey, look at all the money and in the couches there, scrape up the pennies, and when you're going to deploy and go crazy again, right? Here is Cardano, back to the original army again. Here is Neo Protocol, back to, so today is very much focused on investment day, right? Let's get the pin bar out of the way. If you zoom in here, I'll show you guys the trend, right? You don't have to force any trends right now until these 4-hour trends are broken. Okay, so let this thing drop, let it bounce, let it do this and catch the damn breakout. That's what you're looking for trades today. If you zoom in on all of them, you'll see they all have this. So let it damn shoot up, let it trap, and let it go. That is where you're going to catch it. This is where you've got a 30, 40, 50% move on the horizon. And don't be surprised if this thing is artificial again like this. Something just happens at any point. But before that, you've got to get through this patch here. And these trend lines here are telling you, hey, there's a little bit of time here. Don't catch the falling knife. Let it drop. Let it go sideways. Pick it up and go. Okay, so you'll see a lot of the alts over here as well. Injective. I can't believe Injective is at $6. Mental. Straight back to bear market territories. Guys, I look at this and I see huge opportunity because these alts all did do this before, right? Literally, this thing fell 98 to 97% in the bear hard times and went up 5,000% in the good times, right? Exactly. So again, your 10, 20, 30Xs have just become available again, where they actually weren't available previously. Look at DOT sitting right at the crazy levels over here. Big opportunities with what you can afford today, okay? And then get your asses ready to start educating. Join me in school. No joke. I want this. You know what I want? I want the biggest school event that I've had in a bear market. This is what I want. I want us all. Let me get every tool in your damn bone, so that when you look at my shows, you don't follow me for crap. You don't follow Sheldon at all. I'm trading my own life, right? My own scenarios. How are you going to trade yours? Let's build your plan. Let's get you locked up. Let's get you going. And in order to do that, all you need is an exchange account. It doesn't cost you anything, right? We've got Albank. Albank's got a big one, a 20% special at the moment. Anything you put, you get a 20% bonus, right? There's a bunch of things to collect extra bonus. Go get the free money. It's here right now for exchanges. Still 7 days left. We have the BTC.D, right? This also 10% on anything above $500. Okay, so BTC, if you want to, here's is exchanges. You open up any of these exchange accounts. Here is the 𝗬𝗏𝗡 as well that I've been trading for a long time now, right? Within the channel. Go here straight below, sign up with any of the exchange links and get into Sniper School. The next thing, guys, market open is in a couple hours from now. I'm going to be live on Sniper Club with Club, right? If you want to join, you could still get in today to be live with us. We're going to look to trade the market and see what happens on market open. Guys, I'll see you tomorrow. Get your damn hats on. Whoever's with me, whoever's quitting, lots of love to you. I hope, wish you a bit. But whoever's ready to get your damn asses together to work with me over the next couple of months and turn us into the best damn opportunity of our lives, I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.